tutorial is going to be a continuation of the course ENG321, and today we're talking about the history of the contemporary use of English. Yes, let's go straight into it. ENG321. Okay, so that being said, let's hop straight into it. Okay, so in our last class we spoke about some certain terms, about the differences, the reasons for contemporary English, and we spoke about history. We have history, history of contemporary, history of contemporary English usage, usage, usage. Okay, so we have now the history. One thing I need to let us understand on this class is that the way our exam is being structured, it is structured in the sense that students are expected to use their discretion. Now, if you have to talk about the history of English, what they want or what the question requires is not that you begin to copy and paste or you begin to do la Paul. No. You are expected to have read and understand. When I say read and understood, I mean in your own word, explain, unless you are giving terms like lists. If you are giving lists the advantage of, that is going to be based on your material. Just like when we say, what are the motive of owing money? It is either you give it's not even either. The motive of owing money, there are just three. There's also not using your discretion. Is there this transactional, speculative, and what's the third one? Transactional, speculative, and transactionary. Transactional, speculative, and for speculative and transactionary and it seems like I forgot to do. Unforeseen contingencies for speculative. Transactionary is for when you want to use investment, and what else? Maybe I'll remember before the class ends. But what I'm just trying to say is that when you are given the opportunity to make definitions of certain things, you are allowed to use your discretion. Meaning that you just need to have a keyword that you can develop, and with that you are good. So that's just an arc I've just given us. So now let's talk about, let me off this light. Now let's talk about the history of contemporary English. Now the history of English language really started with the arrival of three Germanic tribes who invaded Britain during the 5th century, according to the material. But now, let's put it in our own way that we can understand, and it will not be too different from what we have in the material. Now, pay attention. When they say explain or what is the history of contemporary English? Now, contemporary English. Now let's say the history of contemporary English HCE can be traced to 15th century, 5th century AD. Now, can anybody tell me what is the meaning of AD? Now, I have said this before. If you're on this stream, please do well to say something so that I can acknowledge your presence. We have about 5 here, and I can only see 2 persons on the comment section that I said hello. If you're on this stream, please do well to wave or say hi or hello. It's a classroom. It's not a recorded tutorial. If it was a recorded tutorial, I won't be doing this. It's a classroom. It's supposed to be interactive. Miss Selina, are you with us? Miss Selina, are you there? Okay, I think she's not. Let me check. I think she's. Okay, Miss Celine. Yes. Are you online? Are you on this live stream? Okay. Maybe she's not on the stream, but I believe there is somebody else apart from. I think we're about 3 on this stream, and I have just 2 names here. There's Miss Justina and not better. Okay, Mr. Tabby. Now, let me just call you Mr. Tabby. Yeah, Mr. Tabby. You are welcome. Please, I'd like to know, are you Miss Celine? Is it a different name here? Or you are totally different? Because Miss Celine is suppose she's on a WhatsApp classroom, but I don't have this name on the WhatsApp classroom. Is it Miss Celine or it's a total person? It's a different person entirely. Miss Tabby. Okay. Can you hear me, Mr. Tabby? Okay, we have another person who just joined the stream. Okay. Who is the other person who just joined the stream? Do well to introduce yourself as well. So I asked the question. I said, what is the meaning of AD? AD stands for something. Can anybody help us? Mr. Tabby. Okay, I think Miss Just Now is not supposed to be in this class. Maybe she just came and dropped the message. She's in honor level 1st semester. This is not her class. So Miss Just Now, I believe she's not here. So Miss Not Bed of Roses and Mr. Tabby, it's a classroom, so it has to be interactive. And I think I need to talk to Miss Celine so that I can know she's actually supposed to be in class, because she's in the classroom and I have to ensure that she's following each classes. Okay, you are a different person entirely. Also, please, Mr. Is it Mr. or Mrs.? Please, the description of this video has my contact. Okay, Mr. Tabby, at the end of this class, please use it to reach out to me. When you go to the website, you will see a link that will take you to my WhatsApp directly on the website. Ensure you use the website after this class. If you do offer this course, there's a private classroom whereby you can get more value. There's a lot we do there. This is just one of the things we do. This is just one of the things the private class offers, and it's as a result of the private class that is why we're having this stream. It's a result of Miss Sally in the private class. That is why we're having this stream. So in order for you not to miss out a lot of things going down in the private class, reach out to me using the link in the description of this video, tutorio.com, and the other person on this stream do the same thing as well, so we all can get to know each other better. We are trying to gather people in this department, in this level. If we can have all of you in one group, it will be very okay, and you all can still discuss. Is now it's just me selling alone in the class, and it's as a result of her that we're having this live stream. And I'm very, very not happy with the fact that she's not even on this stream. I don't know, and she didn't tell me anything before now. she's supposed to be on this stream, and it's supposed to be an interactive section. But nevertheless, we just have to move on, and hopefully she can come back to the recorded video. Now, I asked of unknown dominee, which is AD. AD is said to be unknown dominee. Unknown dominee. That's the meaning of AD. Okay. Now, I have read something from the material. I said something about the history of contemporary, and also if you are here to smash the like button, do well to smash the like button now. If you're on this stream, do well to smash the like button. We are about 7 of us and just 2 likes. Press the like button. And if you are here to subscribe to the channel, also subscribe to the channel too. Now, from what I have in the material, it says here, please let's pay attention. The history of the English language really started with the arrival of 3 Germanic tribes who invaded Britain during the 5th century. During the 5th century AD. Now, that is according to the material. And I said that during your exam, you are not expected to do la cram la po. You are expected to use your discretion. You are expected to give definitions in line with what is in your material in your own way. Now, having read what is in the material, and I said, okay, in our own way, to make it simple for us, to make it like a conversation, like an interesting story for us. Now, we now say, let's repurpose it. Let's change. Now, the same thing we read in the material, this is it. The history of contemporary English can be traced to 5th century AD, when what? 3 Germanic tribes invaded Britain. When 3 Germanic tribe invaded where? Britain. Can you see? You already started. This is because in 300 level you always have compulsory questions. Compulsory questions like number 1 are usually compulsory most time. So if this happens to be your compulsory question, at least even with this now, you've gotten 5 marks. If it's a total of 25 marks, and compulsory questions used to come with 15, 20, 25 marks, all depends. So if this is a total of 20 marks, you already have 5 marks with this introduction. The history of contemporary English. Now, the person who is marking this thing already knows that this person knows what she's saying, or this person knows what he's writing from what you have just written here. Now, look at the key points. You said something about 5th century. You said something about 3 Germanic tribes. You said something about invasion. Now, let's see what they have in the material. In the material, they said the history of English language really started with the arrival of 3 Germanic tribes who invaded Britain in 5th century. And here we say also they have history, they have arrival, they have invasion, which is invaded, they have Germanic tribes, 3 Germanic tribes, and they have AD. And the same thing we have here. I'm trying to set the foundation. This is the foundation, and this is how it will apply. This is what I use. Yes, it worked perfectly for me. I don't have to stress in cramming. I only read to enjoy. Now with this method, now you read to enjoy. When you read it, you don't have any issues understanding, because now you have this piece that, okay, I'm to get the information from the material, then I'm to reprocess it and give them what this is, but in my own way. We've been able to also talk about the key points, the three Germanic tribes, talked about the 5th century, and we've talked about the invasion. Now let's proceed. Now, according to Marshall here, it says these three tribes are the Angles, the Saxon, and the Jutes. You see, we are heading somewhere. Now, the history of contemporary English can be traced to 5th century AD when three Germanic tribes invaded Britain. These tribes were, now you are mentioning the names of the tribes. These tribes were Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. Now, you can see the progression. Now, you are going somewhere. Now, how did they manage to invade Britain? Now, they crossed where? The North Sea. Or you can put having or having or after crossing the, you can put it in your own way, having, after, crossed the North Sea, which is now referred to as Denmark. The North Sea. Now, after crossing the North Sea, why do I keep saying Red Sea? The North Sea, which is the modern Denmark. Are we together? It is the modern Denmark and northern Germany. At the time, the inhabitants of Britain spoke Celtic language. They not only crossed this northern sea, they also crossed the one called northern Germany and northern Germany. They crossed northern Germany as well. And at this time, the British spoke, and okay, we can put it like this. Let's put it in a way that we understand better. Now, full stop like this. At this time of invasion, or during the invasion, Britain, during this invasion, Britain citizens, you can use Britain citizens, you can use Britons, you can use Britain locals, you can use or indigenes. Now, during this invasion, let's use Celtic language. Now you can see how you have been able to develop your history, and believe me, this is very easy to remember. Now this is very easy to remember. The first thing here is that you can trace it first 5th century, and you can remember that okay, there were tribes that invaded Britain, and these three Germanic tribes, they are Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. Now, How did they get to Britain? They crossed the North Sea, and the North Sea, which is now referred to as Denmark, and they crossed northern Germany. And during this invasion, British citizens speak what we call Celtic language. Now, okay, let me connect my system. I forgot I even disconnected my system. My battery was shut down. Okay, so we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Okay, awesome. It's the after death of Christ. Hey, after death of Christ. You tried sharp, but it's actually Anno Domini, not after death of Christ. Okay, now let's take note of this. Now, Angus came from England. Came, okay, just a moment. Angus came from England. Now, and let's not forget, we said Angus. Do you remember Angus here? The invaders. Angus. And Angus came from England. And their language was called English. They speak English. Okay, no, it's English. 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 Angus, which happened to be one of the Germanic tribes that invaded Britain, speaks English, from which the word England and English was derived. Which the word England and English was derived. And here you are. You've been able to, you by this, with this now, you have your 20 marks completed. 20 marks on the dot. Okay, so we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Now, there's something called lexical history / changes. Lexical history / changes. Okay, now we have that as that. Let's proceed to the categorization of English in what we call pedagogy. English in pedagogy. English that's English. I beg your pardon. English in pedagogy. English in okay, it's actually pedagogy. English in pedagogy. Now, In pedagogy of English, now we're talking about pedagogy of English. Okay. It simply means method of practice of English. It could be English, it could be a theoretical concept, but now we're referring to it as English. Okay. Now, in the pedagogy of English in contemporary times, we have such terms as, now let's pay attention to these abbreviations. We have the ESL, which is the English as a second language. English as a second language. We have the ESOL, ESOL, English for speakers of other languages. English for speakers of other languages. Are we together? So we have the EFL, we have English for foreign languages, EFL, English for foreign languages, that's EFL. And we have the ELT, which is English language teaching. ELT, English language teaching. As the ELT, English language teaching. We have the TESL, 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 TESL. We have teaching English as a second language. Teaching English as a second. We have the TE, that's TESOL. The TESOL. The TESOL. We have teaching English for speakers of other languages. Speakers of other languages. We have the TEF. We have the TEF, which is teaching English as a foreign language. Teaching English as a foreign language. We also have the EAL, English as an additional language. We have the ESD, English as a second dialect. We have the EIL, English as an international language. We have the ELF, English as a lingua franca. We have the ESP, that is English for special purpose. English for special purpose. We have the ELL, English for English language learner. ELL, English language learner. We have the ENL, English as native language. where we have places like Britain, they have English as their native language, and we have E A ESL, English as second language. Now, English as second language is another broad grouping in the use of English within Anglosphere. Now, in what we call Krachu, now we have something called Krachu. We have what we call, it's called Krachu. Now, this Krachu here, is said to be, of 3 circles. One, let me erase the board so we can. Now let me drag down. Okay. Now we have the inner circle, and we have this. Now what we have here is inner circle, inner circle. Okay, we have the outer, we have the outer circle, and we have the expanding circle. Now, talking about English as a second language, and we're using what is called Kachus. 3 circle. To explain. Now, the inner circle refers to English as its originally looks and was spread across the world. This is where it started from. We have this is their, now they are called, speakers of English. We have them as USA, we have them as UK, North America, New Zealand. We have USA, UK, North America, New Zealand. That's the people in the inner circle. Then we have the outer circle. The outer circle is where English was produced by second diaspora of English, which spread the language through imperial expansion by Great Britain, Asia, and Africa. Now, this region of English, not native tongue, but serve as a useful lingua franca. Not native tongue, but serve as a useful lingua franca. We have India. We have Nigeria. And the expanding is where we have encompasses of country where English plays no historical development, but is still useful as nevertheless is widely used as a medium of international communication. Then we have places like Netherlands, we have South Korea, we have Egypt, we have Netherlands, we have South Korea, we have China. Yes, I think that explains it. So we have that as that. Now, when we talk about English as a lingua franca, it explains a way of communication in English between speakers with different first language. When we talk about English as lingua franca, English as lingua franca. Okay, I think I should write that down. Ling- lingua franca. So this is English between people that does not have English as their first language. Communication of English between speakers with different first language. So it's what we call English as lingua franca. So I think that brings us to the end of tonight's class. So let's do well to okay, let me give an assignment. An assignment. Assignment. In your own words, talk about the following. Now, the history of the history of contemporary, the history of just a moment. Contemporary English usage. 2. Talk about English as a foreign language. English as a foreign English as a foreign language. Talk about, in your own word, English as a lingua franca. Okay, lingua franca, beg your pardon. Lingua franca. Right. That'll be all for that. So till on Thursday when we meet again. Thank you very much for sticking up to this. I hope we've been able to get a thing or two. We'll submit our assignment to the WhatsApp platform, and let's ensure that I told us from the beginning of this class that we all need to get a notebook for all our courses. As we are going through the class, we are taking down notes. It's very essential for the learning process. So I'm expecting us to submit our assignments to the classroom on WhatsApp, and for as many of you on this stream, or as many of you that eventually goes through this stream, do well to reach out to me on WhatsApp, and let's have a group for your department. Thank you very much. I hope you'll be able to get a thing or two, and I look forward to seeing you in subsequent tutorials. Bye bye.